In this video, I will show you how to transfer your data from your GLX unit to the computer. When you plug your GLX unit up, Data Studio should automatically pop up and there should be a screen that looks like this that shows your runs and your information. You want to click on your run, the one which you have did. I did run 4. Click on open, and your information should automatically pop up on the screen. Once the screen has popped up showing your data, you want to click on this information at the top. Then you want to move your mouse to the edit button, copy, and then you want to open a file in Excel. Once Excel has opened up, you want to click in an empty column, paste your information. You should do this for all 3 of your trials. Now that you have your data for all 3 runs, you want to find an empty column and label it average %T, which I have already done here. You want to click up under the cell underneath. This is where you will calculate your average %T value. You want to go to formulas, which is located at the top of your screen. You want to find AutoSum and click on the down arrow and click on average. Now for your average %T, you want an average of all 3 trials. So you would put the column and the group number for each data point separated by a comma, then select enter. For example, within the parentheses, I want to find the average of run 1, comma, run 2, comma, and run 3. And you want to mash enter. This gives you your first %T value, which is here. Here we see our first average %T value. In order to fill in the remaining cells, we take our mouse, click in the right hand corner, the bottom right hand corner, and drag down. This will fill in the remaining cells. Now we are ready to calculate our A value. To find A, the equation is the log of parentheses 100 divided by your %T, close parentheses. First, find an empty column and label it A, as I have done here. To find A, you will type the following formula: equals log parentheses 100 divided by your average %T, parentheses. You will use the column letter and the number that contains your first average %T value in this equation, then select enter. In this cell, we see our equation equals log parentheses 100 over M3, which is my first average %T value, close parentheses, and we hit enter. To fill in the remaining cells, click in the right hand column, the bottom right hand corner, and drag down. This fills in the remaining cells. To find concentration, find an empty column again and label it concentration, as I have done here. If you rearrange Beer's law, you can calculate concentration to give you concentration is equal to absorbance over epsilon. Remember, epsilon is a constant. In this example, my epsilon value is 3809.7. Place this value in an empty box, as I have done here. To find the concentration, you will type the following formula: equals the sum of N3 which is the cell containing my first A value, divided by $T, $2, which is the cell containing my epsilon value. You add the $2 in between so that your epsilon value will be constant for each concentration value. Here we see our equation for your concentration value displayed. Equals sum parentheses N3, which is my first A value, divided by $T over $2, which contains my epsilon. In this, the dollar signs, remember, they make it constant. Press enter, and this gives you my first concentration value. In order to fill in the remaining cells, we click in the bottom right hand corner and drag down, release, and this gives you your remaining data points. To draw a first order plot, the natural log of the concentration is on the y-axis and time is on the x. To find the natural log of your concentration value in Excel, you must find an empty column and label it the natural log of concentration, as I have done here. Type in the following formula: equals the natural log of O3. O3 in this case is the cell containing my first concentration value. After you have done this, press enter. Here we see my equation displayed for your first order plot. Equals the natural log of O3, which is my first concentration value. In order to fill the remaining cells, click in your bottom right hand corner and drag down. This gives you your remaining natural log of concentration values. Now you are ready to find 1 divided by concentration, or your second order plot. To draw a second order plot, 1 divided by concentration is on the y-axis and time is on the x. To find the 1 over concentration value in Excel, you must find an empty column and label it 1 divided by concentration, which I have done here. Type in the following formula: equals the sum of 1 divided by O3. O3 in this case is the cell containing my first concentration value. After you have typed in this equation, press enter. Here we see an equation for your second order plot. Equals the sum parentheses 1 divided by O3, which is your first concentration value. Close your parentheses and press enter. In order to fill the remaining cells, take your mouse and place it in your bottom right hand corner. Click and drag down. This will fill in your cells. Now you have collected all of your data and completed your table. You are ready to make your graph.